Hello, Sparrows. Hello, Sparrows. It's another Wisdom Wednesday, and I am Valerie Miller of T.V.M. The Valerie Miller Double Fold. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. And let me tell you this. It's going to be a juicy show tonight. We have Tracie Osborne with us, and I'm going to see if I can go ahead and get her on with me here shortly. Hello, Nancy, and I'm coming from 2 locations. Yeah, my little bold self. Since we can't seem to get things on the way it needs to be on Facebook, looks like I'll be making a shift. I'm kind of going to be making a shift over to Instagram. That's how it's just going to be until some other things come about. That is it. Whittington, welcome in. Well, it just could be me because I know I have this volume turned up, but just because, I'm going to check it again. Yeah, volume's up all the way to the top. It's to the top. So thank you all for coming in. And I'm waiting for Tracie to come on Instagram. I haven't seen her come into the room just yet, so I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. It's going to be talking about consciousness and mastering the mind, dealing with our emotions and all of that good juicy stuff. Yes. Hi, Terry. Welcome to the room. Nancy, Tracie, I see you are watching on Facebook. And I see you have just joined us over here. And I'm going to bring you on right now so we can go ahead and get started with our conversation. What about Facebook? Can you hear me well on Facebook? How about that? Because over on Facebook, you're only going to be able to hear Tracie. You're going to be able to hear her, not see her, because of all of the fluke and all of this nonsense and stuff that's going on with Facebook. I don't understand what's going on. I really don't, and not even going to worry about it anymore. I'm just going to take my time and just come on over to Instagram and have our conversations and call it a day. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring you on again, Tracie. Yes, how have your day been? It is Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday. It's been a good one for me. And every day tends to just speed up for me. I don't know what that is all about. You hear me well, Terry? Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just going to have to project just a little bit louder. That's all. That is all. Yes. Teresa, welcome in. Thank you so much, all of you Sparrows coming in. Like I said, I am Valerie Miller of T.V.M. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. Indeed. And the reason I think is going to be so awesome tonight is because Tracie and I have been going back and forth and finally got the time to connect live. Yeah, we are connecting live. As you know, I talk about consciousness when it comes to the mind, when it comes to the heart. That's what I do. Tracie also does something similar to that. When you start factoring in emotions, and this is Mental Health Month, right? May it's Mental Health Month, and I've also had a show on mental health because it doesn't look like it used to look. It doesn't. It doesn't anymore. So, I don't know what to say. Tracie, I see where you sent an invite, and I've sent you an invite, and there you are. Hello, darling.
Instagram is a little different. But
A little. But you know what? We don't have that whole echoing situation.
Yeah.
That is what I'm grateful for. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've given just a tad bit about you, that you're a mastermind mentor. And we do similar things. However, yours is a tad bit different than mine. And that's what is so great about it. And when I have opportunity to bring others on that does similar things, and for the most part, something completely different, I get a kick out of it, because I like to learn just like the next person. None of us have all the answers, but there are some of us that have specialties. And when we have those specifics in mind, it makes a difference, especially when our career paths are surrounding people, right? It's all about the people and making sure everybody is on the up and up and as clear conscious as you can be, living everyday lives. It's that simple. So before getting started, I'm just going to go ahead and allow you to come on and give a bit of a backstory on yourself, and then we'll just carry on with our conversation. Welcome, first of all.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
My name is Tracie Osborne, and I am a mastermind mentor, a storyteller, and a creator. And a little bit of my background is about 15 years ago, I was severely depressed, anxiety, and, suicidal. And one day I realized that it was nobody else that was telling me to kill myself, or that I was ugly, or that I didn't look good,
right.
But this voice in my head. And the minute I awoke into that, I became very interested in this voice. And I started to attract books.
Right.
And the books were confirming already what I was thinking.
Right.
And, for about 10 years or whatever, I just was on a journey of self-love and self-help and self-care, because I had no love for myself. And just discovering who I am.
Right.
And then about, let's say, 4 years ago, I had what you want to call a spiritual awakening and a near-death experience at the same time.
Right.
And that really awoken me to the voice that we are not that voice in our head. And that voice that I like to call the bitch in your head. Because it's a real bitch. If we can really control that bitch, you won't have mental health. Because it all starts with what conversation is going on in your head.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm real passionate about helping people with their mind and mastering their mind. Because if you can really just control that voice, you'll control your life.
That's it. And it's a little bit beyond when most people think, as a man thinketh. That has a lot of facts to it as well. But there is that voice that's there, and it's up to you to control it and knowing the best solutions that's going to be for you specifically. Because what you are dealing with doesn't mean that everyone else is going to have that same experience. And what I hear you saying is that the awakening took place, and I can vouch for that. When you have a near-death experience, it changes the game. It changes everything, your outlook on life, everything, your feelings, your thoughts, because unless you're ready to go, you're going to be changing quite a few things when you are faced with something like that. And I know it happened to me as well. And you hear me talking a lot, about my son and the passing of Nicholas. That was the first time at age 24, but to go through it again at 37, 38, somewhere in that time frame, when nearly hemorrhaging to death with my third child, Christian. So that changes everything, how you think and the controlling of that voice, because it could have easily been that thing to where you could have slipped. I could have slipped and just gone on. But, that voice in my head and what my emotions at the time was, not today. I'm not going today. It's too much I have to do, God. Not today. It's too much going on with this guy. My family don't know about today. So I get that when you say it. And if you haven't had that experience of awakening, you will know it when it happens. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you go about controlling the voice, the sound? What is it? How do you go about that for Tracie, and then looking at it from a standpoint with your clients?
Well, it's all about awareness. Most of us don't even know that the voice is separate from us. We're just listening to it dictate and manage us. That's the real first step, is being aware that that voice is not you, and being aware of what the voice is saying to you is the biggest step. Like, it sounds simple, but it's not easy, because the voice starts at a very young age, maybe 5-4 years old. So you've become one with it. You've become unified with it, that it's hard to detach from it. So the real first step is awareness.
That's step one. And you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You know, you just need to be mindful, and it's time to be in tune with yourself, understanding yourself. And it was some things that I had, you know, kind of filtering all day on my timeline, talking about self-care. That's a part of alignment, and bringing about awareness, understanding who you are, and when you start feeling a certain way, when it's time to make adjustments, when you start doing those types of things, you understand you. And when you're understanding you, then that's where you're controlling the mechanisms, your thoughts, that voice in your head, right?
Yes.
So how long have you been doing this particular thing? Because I know with me, and you and I have had quite a few conversations, because what we do is continually evolving. As we evolve, what we do evolves right along with, because our businesses is associated with people, and we have these life experiences that apparently we have to share. And being vulnerable, having those awakening experiences, and balancing how we share that information and being transparent. I have no shame, Tracie, none, when it comes to sharing my experiences. I don't, because I'm grateful to be able to do that. And you never know how it's going to trigger somebody else to recognize what's happening in their lives. It's nothing to be afraid of. You're not losing your mind. It's just your conscious mind speaking to you. That's what it's doing, saying, hey, this is a problem. We need to look at this. We need to take a quicker look at this. And don't ignore it, because the more you ignore it, that's when it becomes a problem that becomes out of hand. Right?
Yes.
Yay. So when you realized that the time has come, I've changed. It's almost like a split-second thing. In an instant, you have changed. The people around you start noticing it. Your family, your friends. How did you go about with your transition of your oneness with becoming Tracie and aware of who Tracie is in the present?
So for me, I was in La La Land for a little while, to tell you the truth, because I had seen very clear that not only are you not thoughts,
right?
You're not your emotions, you're not your feelings,
right?
You're just something that you can't touch, like awareness. Like, you're just the looker, you're the observer of what's going on,
right?
And that just left me kind of flawed, and just had a new meaning in life, where it was just like, in every moment, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, there's no more holding back. I have no fear.
Right.
And it's interesting, because the minute you're awakened, you want to help awaken everybody. Like, right then and there, I knew that I have to teach this. I have to tell everybody about this. Because before the awakening, I wasn't really trying to teach it. It was
Mm-hmm.
just that it did become my passion. Like I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to
Right.
learn and study the mind and do different things, but I wasn't thinking about it as sharing it with the world. It wasn't, it wasn't a part of anything for me. But that awakening, I was like, oh, it's time to teach this now. So
It is,
big
because you start
blessing.
hearing a lot of, how do you handle this when? What do you do when? Or I've noticed this about you. What's changed? In essence, you're still being yourself. You're just taking procrastination out of your life. That's a thing of the past. You do everything now. And I know I've had my virtual assistant say it to me. I've had a number of people say, why are you forceful, so like you're charging forward in everything and you want to do everything now? And my response to that is, I want to do it now because I've put it off for too long, first of all. And secondly, when you've come to a close to death experience at any point in time in your life, you look at life differently, because it can be gone at any moment, and it's not something that you want to take for granted. It's all about, for me, it's legacy at this point. You have children. I don't have any living children. However, I have a gang of nieces and nephews. And that means to me, I want to share everything I can with them while I can. And it's not just about my nieces and nephews or family and friends. It's their kids. It's your kids. It's everybody. I'm writing books, and that's why I've chosen nonfiction. This is about my life. It's things that I want to leave behind that's going to encourage them to be greater. And not just them. It could be the perfect stranger. Whoever picks up that book. It's going to be nuggets that's going to change your life in there. And it's just giving you tools to make your life that much more fabulous. That's how I look at that. Because I can be here today and gone tomorrow. And then it's leaving a fingerprint of me behind. Who is Valerie Miller? Oh, you'll know who I am when I go. That's how I look at that. Everything is in urgency to me. When I learn, I want you to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have a couple of things that I have to the side. And I know it's unscripted, and it's easy for us to do this. But I figured today, because it's not the typical Wisdom Wednesday. It's not, by far. It isn't. When you have somebody like me dealing with the mind and the heart, and then you're dealing with the mind as well, and you're saying that emotions are different, it's so many things that Tracie specializes in. So if you don't have a notepad, you may want to get one and write down some things that we're sharing. If you have any inquiry about what it is that we're talking about, if you have something you're not certain of and you just want to run it by us, now would be the time to do it while you have us live. And you can get these nuggets for free. I'm just going to put it to you like that, because once you have to start scheduling, that's a wonderful thing too, because I give kudos to anybody who take initiative to make their lives better, to address concerns of things that may be bruised or broken. Is necessary. Invest in yourselves to do that. Invest into yourself when it comes to self-care, and that's a part of self-care. When you protect your heart and you do everything you can to learn what's in your mind, what's going on in your mind, your thoughts, and where these things are directing you in your life. Okay? This type of quest in life, when you're on this particular line of work, or when you're having this life experience, it makes you vulnerable. Very vulnerable. Because you have to be vulnerable to be in the place where Tracie and I are. We have to share stories that normally we probably wouldn't share with other people. But now, like I said, I'm very transparent. Very. What would you say to that, Tracie?
I am. I share it with my kids.
Yeah.
They know about the voice in their head, and
Yeah.
it's interesting how when you catch them at a very young age, it's so much easier to
Right.
break the habit pattern. Like
Right.
automatically they know, they're like, the Byron is telling me to do this bad, and they know that they can't really go to a teacher with it because the teacher probably think they're crazy.
They think they're crazy.
But they get it. They understand. Like my son, he had a temper tantrum the other day, and the next day when he calmed down, he was like, "Mom, man, when you get angry, you just turn into a different person." I said, "Yes, it's that Byron with those feelings and that energy
It is.
that got you like that." And it's just amazing that he's able to recognize it, because a lot of things we're not taught how to deal with anger.
No.
That's another big issue. So I've been teaching my kids how to deal with anger, and I really had to do it because one of my sons have anger, and I realized very quickly that anger and anger don't mix. Like Martin Luther King said, you cannot put out darkness with darkness.
Never.
So I realized that I had to change myself. I had to change how I was reacting to his anger in order to help him with his anger. And then I started, then that was another path I went down. I started to understand anger and energy and how to deal with it.
Right.
How you're so reactive when you're angered.
Right.
And just how to calm that down to the point where I have created new neural pathways in my brain to where when he gets a tantrum, I don't even respond or react like I used to be.
That's what they want.
Mellow and calm. But it was just like it took a while to get to that point, because we're instinctively just reactive.
Right.
Reactive to him and react in a negative way, and it's pretty amazing.
It's a conditioning.
To do the same thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a conditioning that we've always had, and the kids know it. Adults know it. You know, somebody can press your red button in the past, and they knew if they pressed that button, the type of reaction they were going to get out of you, the rise that most would say. However, it's such a calmness. And I have to express gratitude to say, living this way all of my life and never being conscious to know that I was living consciously, you know, and because it doesn't take pushing a red button to get me there right away. It's going to take a lot to get a rise out of me. Therefore, now, and I'm writing about it in my second book, is accepting reality. Things that are happening in the present, accept it for what it is and keep it in that place, to not go there, because it's easy to become out of pocket. However, it takes effort to bring yourself back down from it. You have to be conscious, say, you know what, I'm not going to allow this today. You know what, forgive them and let it go. Whereas before, you know, little Miss Nice Nasty, you know, would have really said some things in a very calm and sweet voice and just chop you right up, Tracie. And then you're doing a double take, like, did she say what I think she just said to me? I did. Because I wanted you to hear me. And it was just a strategy. It was just a thought of how I would keep myself in a calm space and to not let somebody put me in a position to mimic their behavior. Because that's all it is. They want you to become like them in order to communicate with you. And that's not always the same situation. And you need to be able to recognize that, understand the individuals in your life for who they are, and accept them as such. If there's something that you can do to redirect and help them to calm that anger, great. The best you can do is address the fact that they have it. Why are you so angry? Why are you so upset? What is that about? And then it kind of stems from a whole different type of conversation at that point. It does. And then that's where you and I gain clients. Realistically. When you understand it. Yeah. Now recently, when was it? April? March? When you left your government job? Yeah?
Yes. I took the leap. Yes.
Took that leap.
Yes. And I took my business on full time and never looked back. And since then, just a week ago, I just left a meditation retreat where I couldn't talk for 10 days. I was away from social media. I was away from the outside world, and that was also amazing. Going in it,
yes.
You know, people heard about it, everybody was like, how are you going to do that? Like, I can't last without speaking, like, or looking at people, or
You did it.
not being in contact with your family
Right.
and stuff like that. But it's interesting how it's like being in a classroom. If everybody is doing the same thing, you're going to do the same thing. You don't want to be that
Right.
bad kid,
Right.
you know? And it's easy to adjust because everybody is doing the same thing. Nobody has their phone. Nobody is being distracted by anything.
Right.
And just being able to experience that, like, that was extreme self-care, because it was the one time in years, like, I have 4 boys. So I've never been 10 days without having to worry about picking them up from school, bringing them to school. What am I cooking? Going to the PTSO meetings on top of my business. I had nothing to worry about. I even had a chef. They had food there for you. All I had to do was just get up and bathe or whatever. And it was just amazing. You know, like, once you get past the part where you can't talk and stuff, it was absolutely amazing. And then it was interesting because they did let us speak on the last day, and then we all became very anxious because we're like, oh no, I don't want my cell phone back now because of all the emails and the messages that we're going to get
blowing
with.
Up.
Yes. And it took me like almost a week to like regain back into the world because everything was just like too much. Just like right away I had to deal with the kids and take them to school, and this, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, this is a lot. So
congratulations.
Really
Congratulations on that. You know, and it is tough to do, however, rewarding at the same time. And now that you've done it, you can easily do it again because you have now, your mind is set to it. And I remember when you put the post up saying that you were going to do it, I said, that's my girl. That's her. That is it. Because if you haven't done it, you can't speak on the benefits of it. You cannot. And it's tough, especially being in this industry to where we deal with people day in and day out. So to go 10 days of silence, congrats. It's a gift and it's necessary. And, you know, one of the programs that I have is Isolation Island. It has a lot to do with that. And just taking parts of not a full 10 days, but it's emphasizing on that for a month. It is. The things that you can take out of your life that's distracting, that's hindering you from being your greatest, that's hindering you from reaching goals, from spending that quality time with your family. And I think a personal pet peeve for me is when I'm out and you're at a restaurant or, you know, family is spending time and everybody is doing that. The heads down.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They have the electronic devices, the phones, the tablets, all of these devices, and everybody is doing their own thing. And I'm like, wow, it would be so great just to have a conversation. Everybody turn it off, put it in a basket, and have engaging conversations. And that's one of the reasons why I have this platform the way it is, to be unscripted and to have engaging conversations. It's major when it's coming to relationships and dealing with clients who have relationship issues. I'll say, okay, where's the electronic devices at night? Where do you place them? Oh, it's right alongside the bed. Take it out of the bedroom. Put it in the bathroom, put it in the kitchen downstairs, or in another room. Because as long as it's in arm's reach, you are conditioned to just grab it. First thing in the morning, you can't even say good morning to each other. One of you have awakened and you've grabbed your phone first thing. That's nuts. Change what you do. Be aware of what your routines, your rituals, the things that you do every single morning. If you want more, you've got to make some changes consciously and with the intention to have something beautiful and positive to come out of it.
Yes.
Bottom line. And I know we have a comment over on Facebook. Maria Weathers is saying a good cleanse of the soul. And she's referring to you taking that 10 days. So that is a kudos. And then parking your little self over on Isolation Island, being aware, realigning with yourself and your creator. I talk about God all the time. You may not serve God, whoever your higher power is, because at the end of the day, it's only one. But whatever tickles your fancy, do that. Just be aligned with yourself to get the greatest results. If you have those types of hindrances and blocks and things that you want to work through, call Tracie, call me. It doesn't matter where you are in this world. We do what we do. We connect via the web. So it doesn't matter where you're reaching out from. The important thing is that you align with somebody that you can connect with. Somebody you can vibe with, or, you know, have some synergy with. That's the important thing. So, and I mentioned rituals and things. Is there anything in particular that you do on a day-to-day basis to keep yourself focused, to have to shake yourself back into place? Because I know yesterday I was in the feelings yesterday. It was hard to shake it, but I did. I had to hit the reset button. Thank God for 2 o'clock gratitude time, because I'm like, you know what, God, I am aware that my feelings are all out of sorts today, and I need you to do it. I need you to do it. And he did. Like, woo, that is not the truth today. Not it. So what is it that you do? I may have 2 o'clock gratitude time, and I promise you I dance every day. Every day. I have a moment of dance. I have to. And there are times I may put on the timeline what I'm listening to, and I say take a dance break. It's because I was just getting my dance onto that. So what is it that you do that keep you in that space of positive, so you can be clear to do all the things that you do in a day-to-day?
So since I went to the meditation camp, I have added meditation. It's so funny going in. I would never do more than 5 minutes of meditation. Now I can do it for an hour. So
congrats.
It was recommended to do at least 2 hours. So I usually get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's like my regimen. And I post mindful nuggets 3 times a week, Monday through Wednesday. So I usually do my video. But now I have incorporated meditation. So I do the hour of meditation.
Right.
And then I'll do my video. But whenever I get into an emotional funk,
yes,
is what you call it, I really address it right then and there. And I just question myself, like, why am I feeling like this? What thoughts brought this feeling to me? And just really answer the question truthfully and do some conscious breathing. And that is typically what I do. Like, I deal with it right in the present moment, because it's happening in the present moment. I don't say, oh, I'm going to wait until I meditate tonight to deal with it. No, I stop what I'm doing. And I deal with it right then and there. Perfect. And you have to embrace that, you know, and having gratitude time every day, 2 o'clock. I wake up to gratitude time, but in gratitude all day. And have gotten to the point where I write my gratitude times as well over on LinkedIn. And I always share it on Facebook and Twitter. I do that, and probably should be putting it on Instagram as well. However, it's important to be able to catch that, and then going back, it's like, you know what, girl, if you just go to bed a little bit earlier, grinding, doing a lot of things, it will take you off of your chi. You're not balanced. You're not. So like, I can sit here and go into meditation. At one point in time, it used to have to be stillness. I have to have it all quiet. No, I can be sitting in the middle of chaos and zone straight out. I will do it, and I call it intentional meditation. It's my graceful gratitude of meditation. When things aren't exactly as balanced as you feel it should be, and you feel that little tug on the inside, and you know, oh, it's time, stop what you're doing and go ahead and rectify that, and being aware of it, and it's just, I don't know, you want everybody to be a part of your experiences. It is. But then it's nothing greater than you to have it for your own. That's a part of the awakening. So, and you know, it's been a couple of times I've had individuals to reach out to me because they didn't know what was happening. I think it's something spiritual going on, Valerie. I just don't know. I just don't know what to do. But then realize what it was. You're a flower, and I just explained it to her this way. I said, we're all a bud in the garden of life. That's it. And our bud is closed.
as we start to awaken, that's our personal flower blooming. We're blooming into ourselves, and it's something to be celebrated, just like everything else is celebrated. You should celebrate that wholeheartedly, because the person you used to be, you're no longer in those moments. You're not. You're becoming that much more beautiful, that much more aligned. You're conscious, and only God can give you that, your higher power. That's it, because you've had something to shake your foundation in that space. And those meditation moments, being grateful, thankful for things, it gets you there, when you don't allow things to interrupt you in your life, you know? So there are some comments out here, and they're kind of filtering through, and we've missed quite a few of them, so we're going to have to just go back after the fact and respond to them. That's about the gist of it. But you have so much to offer, and I'm going to say this. Tracie and I can't say it enough, we're in the business of people. We take on so many emotions, we take on concerns of other people often, and we have to be clear in our own minds to know how to filter those things out. And just like everybody else, we have to have somebody to bounce these things off too. So it's awesome to meet someone like her and to be able to connect, because it's times we'll get on the phone and we just chop it up, because I may have to dump, she may have to dump. And when we dump, we're fabulous by the time we're done on the phone. And I think at a minimum for us to talk is an hour, a minimum. And it helps a lot. So I can say thank you to her. And I know everybody has to put yourself in that position to talk about it, no matter what it is. Whatever you do, don't close yourself off from the world. It's time to really take initiative and look at what's happening in our lives at all times. There isn't a specific time of day. This is all day, every day. So hello to everyone who has now come into the room. And I know we're just going and going and going. I'm talking a lot, if you notice, Tracie, because I'm excited that you're here. But I have to take a breath and let you chime in. So please stop me at any time, you know. And I know you're talking about you do meditation. That helps you. What else do you do on a regular that brings you joy? What is it?
You know, it's funny. It doesn't take much to bring me joy. Just having a conversation with you, like simple stuff. Just really being present in the moment when I'm eating food.
Yeah.
Focus on myself eating food. When
32 chews.
Feel the water run down my body. Like, it's just that simple.
It is.
You know?
It is.
It's the little simple things. And I know you were saying about change. Like, change is so constant and it's so rapid that we all have changed from the time that we got on this live. Like, that's how rapid we're changing. We just have to be ready for it. Like, stop trying to hold or attach to the past, whether it's good or whether it's bad.
Yeah.
You don't want to cling on to the past. Just be in the present moment, because again, the bitch in your head
have you messed up
and keep you away from the present, which is the present moment, the biggest gift that you have.
Right. Because somebody didn't get that today. Somebody didn't wake up this morning to have an opportunity. And every day that you awakened, to me, is your birthday. Every day is your birthday. And a part of my tag, a part of what my business is, T.V.M. It's not just the Valerie Miller, it's that double fold. And I always say it. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. You can change within the moments. It's no reason to not change and hold on to attachments. For what? And when you do that, you're hindering yourself from growing. You're hindering yourself from allowing your bud to bloom.
Yep.
So if you're doing it, stop it. Please let go of things that you're holding on to. And if you find yourself cleaving to something, like Tracie said, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, question, why are you doing that? Because when you're holding on to something, you're not allowing yourself to be present. You're not.
Yes.
You are not at all. And you have 4 boys. And I know that's huge. And my little God great nephew bum rushed our mini commercial today, Nicholas. You know, and you gotta love them. That's energy for days, and it's something to be a mother, period. So would you consider the boys to be your greatest accomplishment? Or what would you say is Tracie's greatest accomplishment thus far in your life? Because we're still changing.
I put myself first, because a lot of times when you become a parent, you get lost in being a parent. Yeah. And I had those moments where I did, but now it's all about me. Not all about me, but I make sure I put myself first.
I get it.
2 days a week, I make sure I go to the gym. I don't care if there's a meeting. It's my meeting is my gym. Like, there's nothing, get in front of that.
Right.
Then I do storytelling. I make sure, my kids already know Storytelling Monday.
Yeah.
So, because when I'm filled with good, then it's easier for me to parent.
Right.
I'm less snappy,
Right.
So it's all about self-care for me every single day.
Every day.
Or every single moment, like in the moment, like just, I journalize. I love to journal.
Yes.
And that brings me joy, just recapping my day or recapping a moment or recapping how I handled something, a client, whatever it is, just journaling just brings me a lot of joy. Or even speaking on stage, doing storytelling or doing my inspirational speaking.
Love
and
it.
Just knowing that I help somebody and like their reaction like gives me an instant joy right away.
It does.
It's really coming from a humble place, because most of the people that I help, I've been in all of those situations. I've been in situations where I was spoiled, where I was given everything, where I, was around a lot of money, where I didn't have money. So it was just like I can relate to everybody on so many different angles.
Right.
And what I had begun to realize is that it doesn't matter if you're given everything on this golden or this silver platter, that you still have misery. Like that being head is still going to find something to have you in misery.
It's a crack in the surface.
Like I had realized that at a very young age. Like I had everything given to me, and I was the most depressed time that I was in.
Right.
And now that I reflect and look back, it's just like, wow, like this bitch is never going to be satisfied. The girl just stop listening to her.
Yeah.
Because look at the people. I went in. One of my clients had 5 Grammys, 5 of them, and they were just on the shelf, just chilling right there. And it was just like, no big deal, just a Grammy.
Just a Grammy.
It's like the excitement of getting it, and then once it's gone, it's gone. And think about it. In order for you to experience excitement, your brain has to release endorphins into your
Exactly.
body. And if your brain releases endorphins, it's temporary.
Yes.
So we go and we fight and we strive for all of these outside material things, and then we get it. And then after a while, we're over it. It's like us shopping for a new pair of shoes. We're all excited about these shoes. After a while, we get the shoes, we don't want it.
It's just another pair.
Yeah, same thing I tell my kids, like they want this toy, they're all excited about this toy, and then within a day or two, now they want something else, and I'm just like, you're never satisfied. I'm trying to teach them that from a young age, because it just changes from toys, and as an adult, it just changes to maybe a car or a house or this or that. You get that house, then you find something else that you want out of this house.
Exactly.
Or you see someone else with a bigger house or this, and it's just like,
so
when
unfortunate.
are we going to realize that happy, that outside happiness is not.
It's not the answer.
The happiness at all.
It's not the answer. And when you can give it up and know for certain that you no longer have attachments, it's not that thing that's just held over your head. Let it go. And, being here and understanding that there are people that I know and have been friends for a very long time, and I look at them so different now because of the conversations that we're having. And it comes to things like materialistic things. And I'm quick to say, nope, I don't care about that. anymore. Not that it was ever a really big deal, and granted, I've always had nice things, but it's never been something that I worshipped or something I had to have that feeling, or to showboat in front of other people, to put on that facade of having something, but because, you have to pay for that stuff every month. I'd rather have peace of mind and be grateful for what I have. That's all paid for. That's a whole different type of life. It is when you can give those things up, still have them, but be very conscious about how you go about obtaining those things. If it's not on sale, I don't want it. I'm not going to buy that. Not at all. And I'm going to look, sharp as a tack all the time and never pay full price for anything. You better believe it. And being mindful of that, not having things that's in the know or having labels, things like that. And I'm mindful to listen for those types of conversations within people that are around me. And I'm quick to say the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And being mindful of that. It's been quite a few people I've erased out of my life because of that facade, that image that's not true authentically for them. I don't want that around me. I really don't. I don't watch the news because of that. It's always bad, nothing good, So having accomplishments and to have a client that has 5 Grammys, really? And you're not over the top every time you see those? Really?
They weren't even on the shelf. They weren't even displayed in a nice way. They were just in the windowsill. I was like, wow.
Yes. It's nuts.
Because I had to second. I was like, are those Grammys? Because I'm just like, the way how they were displayed, I didn't think so, but yeah.
It's bananas. I think Whittington is saying, if only we strive for peace, joy, and love the same way, as something materialistic. And to me, who are you putting on this show for? Who cares? I don't care what you have, Tracie. I don't care. I'm going to love you regardless. That's what authenticity looks like. It's not about what you have, the possessions. It's who you are as an individual, how you love and care for yourself and not running yourself in the ground, to have an awakening of yourself and know that you matter, that you're very important and significant, to know that and you live according to that, and how you are teaching your boys the fundamentals of life. Those are things that matter to me. Not that you live in the greatest house on your block in your neighborhood and you drive the savviest cars. To me, when I see those things, I see debt. That's what I see. And when I can give up those types of things in the lifestyle and to have had those types of lives, and where you were saying that you have clients and you can resonate with every category that you're working with, I get that. That's where our transparency comes from, being transparent in it. Because we do have the stories. I can't say, oh yeah, I had that. Yeah, oh, I had that too. Had. However, now I have peace. I am grateful. I love life. I'm living present. I can hear the birds singing outside. It matters to me that the sky is clear. The rain is necessary. Things like that. Have something that's endearing to you versus something that's shallow. You have to grow up at some point in time. And for the majority of people, they have no idea they're living this way. They have no idea until the awakening comes.
Yes. And you know what? It's all a process.
It is.
We all awaken at different
stages.
It is. And it's experiential, because I can sit here and tell you, but until you experience it, you won't have that change. So it's okay. I look at people and I'm just like, it's okay. Like, they're still unconscious. They haven't been awakened. Especially when, they're chasing material and stuff. Because a lot of times you're getting conditioned through social media, through TV.
Oh, honey, yes.
Because that's what they promote all the time.
It is.
This people is successful because of this. So you're unconsciously, with the subliminal messages, thinking that that's what you're supposed to do. So on purpose, I stopped looking at TV over 10 years now. Because I'm just like, you know what? I get this. Yes. If I am going to choose to brainwash my own self with my own stuff, not to
Mm-hmm.
let TV
Mm-hmm.
do it, because it's so easy, because it's to the point where, we're being racist to our own kind,
Right.
not even realizing it
Right.
because of how they display the newspaper and stuff. And like you said, with the news, CNN is called constantly negative news. And when news first came out, it was positive.
Right.
But they saw the responses when they put up like one or two pieces
Right.
of negativity. People were responding more to negativity. So at the end of the day, it's all about the profit. So that's why it's more negative, because for whatever reason, people like to see that someone's life is worse than theirs to make them
Right.
feel better.
It makes them feel good. It does
Yes,
make
makes
them feel good.
better.
And I remember working, I should probably not say the name, but USA Today newspaper. I worked there for 6-7 years, right? Loved working there. It was one of the greatest jobs I've had, especially being a young adult at that time, my early 20s. And that was one of the reasons why I left there, because of the spike in sales and how excited the management team, would get when something detriment happened in the world. A plane crashed or some high profile individual passed away. That equated to more money for the company. And they were, well, Valerie, this is going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be great. We're going to double this tonight. We're going to send this and change that. And I couldn't stand it. It would be the one in the office like, you know what? That is a shame that we benefit from someone else losing a life. We benefit from something chaotic happening in the world, and didn't want to be a part of it. That was one of the very reasons why I left. I don't do well with bad news. So I've got to find something positive to kind of balance that out. So therefore, I don't watch the news because of that. Very strategic of shows that I watch. No, not at all.
Exactly. I'm not volunteering for that. I'm not volunteering to stress myself out.
Right. I love peace.
Yeah.
That's real talk, Tracie. It's all about being calm.
Peace and harmony.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Hi, Jen. Welcome to the room. And you know what? This is pretty much going to be a part of the transitioning of yourself. If you want a greater life, make the changes that are necessary. Make the changes. So you don't watch the news either, Jen? I'm not down with all that noise. That's right. You can't be down with it. That's the only way we're going to correct it, by turning and saying, I'm not going to participate in this. I'm not doing it at all.
Yes.
It's so much more beauty in the world if you take the time to be a part of it. It's that simple. Now, I can sit and talk to you all night. I can do it. We can do it. We've proven that, Tracie.
Yes, we have.
So it's probably something in the future that I can see, either a summit of some sort, because we're both dealing with the mind, we're dealing with the heart. These are things that are necessary to redirect thoughts and to help those become themselves. Of course, I introduce you to yourself, Tracie. And and I love saying that, because it is joy when it happens. And then somebody says, oh, Val, well, I guess you do introduce to ourselves. I say, yeah, I told you. Just like I can change your life in 15 minutes. I'm not saying things that hasn't been tried and true. It's proven facts. Therefore, in the event there are Sparrows here and, that may want to reach out to you, how will they go about doing that?
They can get me on social media on Instagram and Facebook. It's Tracie with an IE, Osborne Speaks with an S. And I also have a beta program that I'm running called Master Your Mind.
Yes.
And it's at a nice intro price. It will be going up, but just like working out the strengths and stuff of the program. So
Right.
it's now with the a good time to get into the program. It's
Right.
really just helping you master the bitch in your head,
Right.
to bring the inner peace and harmony in your life.
Yes.
You know, so
I applaud you. I do, because the more we talk, I see the transformation. Even now, we can be whomever we are at any given time. However, like I said before, we're all evolving every single day. And if you're stuck in a place and you're not evolving, it's time to take a look. It's time for a mirror moment with yourself and reach out to somebody who cares enough to want to see the greatest take place for you. So that program, I know it's going to be a hit. I already know that because of who you are. And having one myself that will help you wholeheartedly. I went through the program myself as I was writing it in 2018. Every month was a challenge. And of course, my business is a challenge-based business. So if you're not challenging yourself every day, what's the point? What's the point? You're going to remain the same. So Be Fabulous is personal development, next level. That's what I call it. It's not your typical type of situation. It's something put in place for 12 weeks. I've taken the whole year process of me going through it all and have a few people that can vouch for it as well that went through it and got phenomenal results. And it's from changing your mindset, having a more beautiful heart and look at yourself consciously and being intentional with your life, and then losing weight all at the same time. I had one guy, he lost 60 pounds in less than 12 months.
okay.
And so it's all about how much you invest in yourself, how much you love yourself and want to be the best version of you. And it takes some time to sculpt you. It takes time to do that. But once you have it, it's life transforming. And no different than the butterfly becoming from the cocoon. It's the same thing. It's a sparrow world, Tracie. So invest in you and be fabulous while you're doing it. So on that note, Sparrows, Tracie and I are going to draw a fine line in the sand, and we're going to come up with something to where we can possibly get together and you guys get both of us at the same time. I don't know how, when, or where, but it's definitely coming. So keep your eyes and your ears open for that. So to have both of us, watch out. That's all I can say. Watch out.
It's going to be filled with high energy.
High energy that's going to knock you out. And Tracie's
Yes,
going to go
like
silent.
that. What is it?
Yeah. Tracie will be the silent one. She'll go silent for a little while, and then I'll be the one that's going off, just talking and talking. So it helps
Yes.
a lot to be aligned with you. So go about doing that for yourself now. It's something continual for every day. It is. And of course, I am Valerie Miller of T.V.M. The Valerie Miller Double. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. And on that note, Tracie, is there anything you want to add before we go?
No, it's been a great, juicy conversation.
It
on
is.
This lovely Wednesday.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to our collaboration,
Yes.
which will be great.
Yes.
Yes.
We can do that. Of course, I'm here in the Carolinas. You're in New York, so it'll be fabulous in either location.
And then, you can also follow me on Tracie Osborne Speaks for Mindful Nuggets.
Yeah.
I give some mindful tips about the mind Monday through Wednesday, and I always post some sort of mindful quote. So
Yes.
just to get inspired, because sometimes we have to be, what is that? Not flustered, but like engulfed with positivity, because there's so much negativity. So
Yes.
you need to have it at like all different angles to keep yourself up.
Yes.
So
I love it. I get a kick out of watching you and your nuggets. I get a kick out of it. That's because I know the other side of it. And I know the point is there. So to be able to get what you're getting, like tonight with the nuggets that Tracie does, with the platform like I have tonight for Wisdom Wednesday and Matters of the Heart Mondays, we're doing this because we love you that much. We don't have to do this. It's just giving you a glimpse of what we do on a day-to-day basis with clients. and you get to engage with us in these spaces because we want you to be great. That's all it is. Okay, so please take advantage of it. Definitely follow Tracie because you'll be grateful that you did. So on that note, Trace, we can talk again later. We'll get something on the schedule and we can kind of talk about what our next steps are going to be for us even. All right. I think this thing is stopped. It stopped Facebook. So on Instagram it has. So here you have it. Tracie is gone for the moment, and we will be getting together to do something grand. And hopefully you enjoyed tonight. If you have any questions about anything, I will be responding to comments. Tracie will be responding to comments also. So enjoy your evening, and I'll say to you, love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Smooches.